What's up guys, CJ here and welcome back to this week's Star Wars video, and today we've got a pretty simple question for you. Will Yoda make an appearance in The Last Jedi or Episode 9? It kind of seems like a silly question. I mean, Yoda died in Return of the Jedi, how could he possibly show up? But it honestly looks like there might be something in the works in terms of bringing the Jedi Master back to the new trilogy. A little background for you, the puppeteer and voice behind Yoda, Frank Oz, did an interview earlier this week with Variety about Muppets creator Jim Henson, someone that Oz considered a major mentor in his career. The interview was actually a really nice read for any of you Muppets fans, and I've linked it in the description below, but as any interview with Frank Oz would, the discussion eventually turned from Muppets and Jim Henson to George Lucas, J.J. Abrams, and Star Wars over the last few questions. But it was his response to a question about future appearances as Yoda that raised some fans' eyebrows. Specifically, he was asked, "There are some reports that you might reprise Yoda in the new Star Wars," to which he replied, "I feel like I'm a prisoner at war here, and I can only give you my name, rank, and serial number. To be true to the people who asked me, and they are kind of my family, I have to say I've been asked not to talk about it. I love Yoda. I would be happy to talk to you about it at the time they let me." And that seems like a pretty cagey answer for a pretty simple question, you know? I mean, if it wasn't true, he could have just shut them down, but instead we've got the "I've been asked not to say" response. The final line too, "I would be happy to talk to you about it when they let me," is probably the biggest indicator of all in my opinion. I mean, that's basically Frank saying, I can't talk about it now, but when Lucasfilm lets me, yes I will. I honestly wasn't even expecting that Yoda would appear in Episode 8, but after the responses from Frank, I think I'm definitely leaning more towards him making an appearance than not. But how would he appear? Well, they've got a variety of options, some I think would be a little more likely than others. We all know The Force Awakens was, at the very least, an homage to A New Hope, if not basically a soft remake of the original Star Wars movie, and if Disney continues that trend in The Last Jedi under Rian Johnson, that could see the movie drawing heavily from The Empire Strikes Back. A huge portion of that movie is Luke's training on the remote hidden planet of Dagobah with Master Yoda, featuring appearances from the Force Ghost of Obi-Wan kind of intermittently. And similarly, we know a huge chunk of Episode 8 will focus on Rey's training with Luke. Given some of the technological advances they've made with CG, I wouldn't be too shocked if we have that CG Alec Guinness appear as the Ghost of Obi-Wan again, but after some of the backlash about CG Tarkin in Rogue One, they might hesitate just a little bit on pulling the trigger on that one. What they definitely could do is have the ghost of Yoda appear, given the fact that at this point he's already a CG character, maybe with the voice of Obi-Wan appearing much like it did originally in those first training scenes in Episode 5. Of course, they might just have Ewan McGregor appear as the Jedi Master, but I'm not sure how fans would feel about that. And actually, let's make that a common question. Do you think Yoda will show up in The Last Jedi or not? And how would you feel about Ewan McGregor appearing as Obi-Wan? Let me know down below, but that's going to do it for me here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw, and subscribe for more great content every single day. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.